Mark Elliott Zuckerberg. He arrived on May 14, 1984, in White Plains, New York. A comfortable suburban upbringing, his father a dentist, his mother a psychiatrist. He was one of 4 children. From early on, something was different about Mark. He was quiet, he was observant, he was fascinated by how things worked, especially things with screens. And code, the digital world was calling to him, even then, before most people even understood what it was, or what it could become. He was already listening. His interest in computers was not just a hobby, it was an obsession, a calling. The family got their first Quantex 486 DX computer in the 1990s. Mark was hooked. He devoured books on programming. He taught himself Atari Basic. His father saw the spark. He encouraged it. He hired a software developer, David Newman, as a private tutor. Newman found it hard to keep up. Mark was a prodigy. He absorbed information like a sponge. He wasn't just learning code, he was thinking in it. He saw possibilities. Before he was even a teenager, he built his first real network. He called it Zucknet. It was a primitive messaging program. It connected the computers in his father's dental office and the computers in the family home. The receptionist could now send a message to his father instantly. No shouting across the rooms. It was practical. It solved a real problem. It was a microcosm of what was to come. Connecting people, making communication easier, more efficient. This was not just a kid playing around. This was an inventor at work. Zucknet was more than just a useful tool for the family. It was a sign, a clear indication of where Mark's mind was heading. He understood the power of networks, the power of connecting disparate points. He wasn't thinking about global domination then, not yet, but the fundamental concept was there. People, computers, communication. The seeds of a social revolution were being sown in a dentist's office in Dobbs Ferry. By a kid who saw the future in lines of code. The world was about to change, and he would be one of its principal architects. High school meant Phillips Exeter Academy, a prestigious boarding school in New Hampshire, a new environment, more challenging, more competitive. But his passion for coding didn't wane, it intensified. Away from home, the computer became his constant companion. His laboratory, his canvas. He excelled in classics and science. He was captain of the fencing team, but the pull of programming remained strong. He was building things, creating. He was not just consuming technology, he was shaping it to his will, exploring its boundaries. During his Exeter years, he developed a music player with his friend Adam D'Angelo. They called it Synapse Media Player. This wasn't just another MP3 player, it was smart. It used artificial intelligence, machine learning, before the term was widely known. It learned the user's listening habits. It could predict what song you might want to hear next. It created playlists tailored to your taste. It was intuitive, it was innovative, it was a glimpse into a future where technology understood you, sometimes better than you understood yourself. Synapse wasn't just a school project. It was a sophisticated piece of software. It got noticed. Big-time tech blogs wrote about it. The buzz started to build. This kid from Exeter, he was onto something. The player was offered for free online. People downloaded it, they used it, they liked it. It showed an early understanding of user experience, of creating something that people found valuable and enjoyable. It was a precursor to the personalized feeds that would later define the internet, the ability to learn from user behavior and adapt. The tech giants came calling, Microsoft, AOL. They saw the potential in the software and in the young man behind it. They offered to buy Synapse. They offered Zuckerberg a job, lucrative offers for a teenager. Most kids would have jumped at the chance, but Mark Zuckerberg was not most kids. He turned them down. He wanted to go to college. He had other ideas, bigger ideas. Synapse was just a stepping stone, a warm-up. He wasn't ready to sell out, not yet. His journey was just beginning. He saw a bigger game. Harvard University, fall 2002. The hallowed halls of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Zuckerberg enrolled as a psychology major, but his real major was computers. He was known on campus as a programming prodigy. His dorm room became a hub of digital creation. He was restless, always building, always looking for the next problem to solve, the next system to create. Harvard was a new playground full of smart, ambitious people, a network waiting to be tapped. He just needed the right idea, the right code. He launched a program called Course Match before the behemoth that would become Facebook. Course Match was utilitarian. It allowed Harvard students to see which courses their friends were taking. It helped them make decisions about their own schedules. It was about connection, about shared information. It was popular. It showed his knack for understanding student needs, for building tools that filled a gap. It was another small step, another experiment. He was honing his skills, testing the waters. The campus was his laboratory. Then came FaceMash, October 2003, the project that brought him campus-wide notoriety and trouble. FaceMash was a hot or not style website. It used photos of Harvard students hacked from the university's online Facebook. Students were shown 2 pictures. They voted on who was more attractive. It went viral in hours. The site was overwhelmed with traffic. It crashed Harvard's servers. The university administrators were not amused. He faced disciplinary action, accusations of breaching security, violating privacy, copyright infringement. The FaceMash incident was a harsh lesson, but it was also a revelation. It showed the immense power of social comparison, the irresistible urge to connect, to see and be seen, even in a controversial way. People were hungry for this kind of interaction. Despite the ethical questions, despite the outcry, the numbers didn't lie. Thousands of students had flocked to the site in a matter of hours. Zuckerberg had tapped into something powerful, something primal. The idea for a more legitimate, more expansive social network began to crystallize. The code was calling. The idea wasn't entirely new. Social networking sites existed, Friendster, MySpace. But Zuckerberg envisioned something different, something for college students, exclusive. Starting with Harvard, he felt the existing platforms were clunky or too open. He wanted to create a digital reflection of the real-world campus social scene, a place to connect with people you actually knew or wanted to know. The Winklevoss twins, Cameron and Tyler, and Divya Narendra had approached him earlier to work on their Harvard Connection project. He had his own vision. The coding sessions were intense. Late nights in his Kirkland House dorm room, fueled by pizza, Red Bull, and an unwavering focus. He was building it, line by line, with co-founders Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskovitz, Andrew McCollum, and Chris Hughes. Each played a role. Saverin provided initial funding. Moskovitz helped with the code. Hughes focused on marketing and communication. It was a team effort, but Zuckerberg was the architect, the driving force. He knew what he wanted to build. He was obsessed with making it happen. Quickly. February 4th, 2004. The Facebook.com went live. It was simple, clean, functional. You could create a profile, add friends, poke them, see their connections. It was tailored for Harvard students. An email address ending in harvard.edu was required to join. This exclusivity was key. It created buzz. It made people want in. The initial uptake was astonishing. Within 24 hours, over 1,000 students had registered. Within a month, more than half of Harvard's undergraduates were on the Facebook. It was more than a website, it was a phenomenon. The growth was explosive. Word spread like digital wildfire. Students at other universities wanted in. They heard about this cool new thing at Harvard. Zuckerberg and his team quickly expanded, first to Stanford, Columbia, Yale, then to other Ivy League schools, and then to most universities in the United States and Canada. The platform was simple, but the underlying desire it tapped into was profound. The desire to connect, to share, to belong. The Facebook was providing the tools, and an entire generation was signing up. The rocket had launched. Section 5, Westward Bound, Palo Alto, Parker, and Pivotal Funding. Summer 2004, the Facebook was outgrowing its Harvard dorm room origins. Fast, Zuckerberg and Moskovitz decided to move the operation to Palo Alto, California, the epicenter of the tech universe. They rented a small house on Waverly Street. It became their headquarters, their living space, their coding den. The atmosphere was electric, young, ambitious. They were building something huge. They could feel it. California was the place to be, where dreams were coded into reality and fortunes were made or lost. Then Sean Parker entered the picture, the co-founder of Napster and Plaxo. Parker was a Silicon Valley legend, charismatic, controversial. He understood the internet, he understood growth, he understood disruption. He found Zuckerberg, he saw the immense potential of the Facebook. Parker became an informal advisor, then the company's first president. He brought connections, experience, and a crucial piece of advice. Drop the "the," he said, just Facebook. It's cleaner. It was a small change, but it signaled a bigger ambition, a global brand. Parker helped navigate the treacherous waters of Silicon Valley. He introduced Zuckerberg to investors. He helped shape the company's early strategy. He understood the importance of user growth above all else. Get big, get dominant, worry about monetization later. This mantra would define Facebook's early years. Parker's influence was undeniable. He helped transform a popular college website into a serious business venture. He brought a level of sophistication and a network of powerful contacts. He was a catalyst. The company needed capital to scale, to hire engineers, to buy servers. Parker helped make the introductions. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, a prominent venture capitalist. Thiel saw the vision. He understood network effects. In August 2004, Thiel made a crucial early investment, $500,000. It was a convertible note. It valued the young company at around $4.9 million. This was the first significant outside money. It was validation. It was fuel. Facebook now had the resources to aim higher, to grow faster. The Valley was taking notice. Section 6. Explosive growth features, vision, and resisting temptation. Facebook continued its relentless expansion, moving beyond college campuses. In September 2005, it opened up to high school students, then to employees of select companies like Apple and Microsoft. Finally, in September 2006, Facebook opened its doors to everyone. Anyone over the age of 13 with a valid email address could join. This was a pivotal moment. The platform was going truly global. The user numbers skyrocketed. Millions were signing up from all corners of the world. The network was growing exponentially, daily. Zuckerberg and his team understood that growth wasn't just about adding users, it was about keeping them engaged. They constantly rolled out new features. Photo sharing became immensely popular. The wall allowed users to post messages on each other's profiles. Events, groups, each new feature added another layer of stickiness, making the platform more indispensable, turning it into a central hub for online social life. They were building a digital world, brick by brick, feature by feature, keeping users coming back for more. Then came the newsfeed. September 2006. It was a radical change and initially deeply controversial. Newsfeed aggregated updates from your friends in a single, constantly refreshing stream. Their status updates, their new photos, their new connections. Some users hated it. They felt it was intrusive, a breach of privacy. There were protests. Students against Facebook newsfeed groups formed, but Zuckerberg held firm. He believed it was the future. He was right. Newsfeed transformed how people consumed information online. It became the core of the Facebook experience. With explosive growth came attention and acquisition offers, big ones. Viacom reportedly offered $750 million. Then Yahoo came knocking in 2006 with an offer of $1 billion for a company barely 2 years old. It was a staggering sum. Many on his team wanted to sell. It was life-changing money, but Zuckerberg said no. He believed Facebook was worth far more. He had a vision that extended beyond a quick payday. He wanted to connect the entire world. He wasn't building a company to sell it. He was building an institution, an empire. He was playing the long game. Section 7. Empire building, strategic acquisitions, Instagram and WhatsApp. Facebook's growth was phenomenal, but Mark Zuckerberg knew that organic growth alone wasn't enough, not in the fast-moving tech world. Strategic acquisitions were crucial to neutralize threats, to acquire talent, to enter new markets, to stay ahead of the curve. He had an eye for companies that were capturing user attention, especially on mobile. The future was mobile. He understood that. He needed to ensure Facebook dominated that space too, not just the desktop web. This meant buying, not just building. Instagram was the first major power move, April 2012. Facebook acquired the photo-sharing app for $1 billion in cash and stock. It was a bold, swift decision. Instagram was young. It had only 13 employees, but it was growing incredibly fast. It was cool, it was visual, it was everything Facebook needed to bolster its mobile presence and its appeal to a younger demographic. Some questioned the price tag, but Zuckerberg saw the strategic value. He bought a potential competitor and integrated its strengths into the Facebook ecosystem. A masterstroke. 2 years later, an even bigger deal. WhatsApp, February 2014. Facebook announced it was acquiring the mobile messaging giant for a staggering $19 billion in cash and stock. This was a jaw-dropping figure. It made headlines worldwide. WhatsApp had hundreds of millions of users, particularly in international markets where Facebook Messenger was less dominant. It was a direct play for global communication infrastructure, connecting the next billion users. Zuckerberg saw WhatsApp as a key to unlocking growth in developing countries. It was about reach, massive, unparalleled reach. These weren't the only acquisitions. There were many others. Oculus VR in March 2014 for $2 billion, a bet on the future of virtual reality and the metaverse. Dozens of smaller companies for their technology, for their talent. Each acquisition was a piece in a larger puzzle, a strategic move in Zuckerberg's grand vision. He was building more than just a social network. He was building a multifaceted technology empire, connecting people through photos, through messages, through virtual experiences. The ambition was boundless. The resources, increasingly, were too. Section 8. Navigating the Storm: IPO, Privacy and Global Scrutiny. May 18, 2012, Facebook went public. It was one of the biggest tech IPOs in history. The anticipation was immense. The hype was off the charts. Zuckerberg, still in his 20s, rang the opening bell remotely from Facebook's headquarters. He was now, officially, a paper billionaire many times over. But the IPO itself was rocky. Technical glitches plagued the Nasdaq. The stock price, initially set at $38, struggled. It dipped in the following weeks. Doubts emerged. Was Facebook overvalued? Could it effectively monetize its massive user base, especially on mobile? The pressure was intense. As a public company, Facebook faced new levels of scrutiny and new global challenges. Competition was fierce. New apps, new platforms, all vying for user attention. The company had to constantly innovate to stay relevant. It also faced issues of censorship and regulation in different countries, navigating complex international laws and cultural sensitivities. The dream of connecting the entire world came with significant hurdles. Operating at such a massive scale meant dealing with massive problems every single day. The easy days were long gone. Data privacy became Facebook's Achilles heel. The company's business model relied on user data to target advertising. This inherently created tension. Then came the Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018. It was a bombshell. Data from tens of millions of Facebook users had been improperly harvested, used for political profiling. Trust in Facebook plummeted. Zuckerberg was called to testify before the US Congress and the European Parliament. He apologized. He promised to do better. But the damage was done. The company's reputation was severely tarnished. The move fast and break things mantra had broken something vital: user trust. The platform also became a breeding ground for misinformation, fake news, propaganda, hate speech. These issues exploded into public consciousness, especially around major elections and global events like the COVID-19 pandemic. Facebook was accused of not doing enough, of prioritizing engagement over truth, of contributing to societal polarization. The scale of the problem was immense, the solutions elusive. Zuckerberg found himself at the center of a global debate about free speech, responsibility, and the role of social media in democracy. The weight of the world was on his shoulders, or so it seemed. Section 9. The Meta, Transformation, Future Horizons and Enduring Legacy. October 28, 2021, Mark Zuckerberg announced a seismic shift. Facebook, the company, was rebranding to Meta Platforms Inc., or simply Meta. This was more than just a name change. It was a declaration of intent, a pivot towards a new vision, the metaverse. He believed it was the next evolution of the internet, a future of immersive, interconnected digital worlds where people could work, play, socialize, learn as avatars. He was betting the company's future on it, investing billions. It was a bold, risky move, classic Zuckerberg. The metaverse is Zuckerberg's next frontier. He envisions a world beyond 2D screens, a more embodied internet, where virtual reality and augmented reality headsets are the gateways. He sees it as the successor to the mobile internet, a platform as transformative as the personal computer or the smartphone. Meta is pouring resources into developing the hardware, the software, the experiences. It's a long-term bet, perhaps decades in the making. Critics are skeptical, but Zuckerberg has proven them wrong before. He is driven by this new vision, convinced it's the future. His ongoing influence in the tech world and beyond is undeniable. Even with the controversies, he remains at the helm of one of the world's most powerful companies, shaping how billions of people communicate and consume information. Through the Chan Zuckerberg initiative, co-founded with his wife Priscilla Chan, he is also a major philanthropic force, pledging billions to advance human potential and promote equal opportunity. His focus remains on big, audacious goals, whether in technology or philanthropy. He thinks at scale. Mark Zuckerberg's legacy is still being written. It is complex and deeply contested. He is hailed as a visionary innovator, a brilliant entrepreneur who connected the world. He's also criticized as a ruthless monopolist, someone whose creations have had unintended and sometimes harmful consequences. Innovator, connector, disruptor, icon, pariah. The final judgment is years, perhaps decades away. As of 2025, he continues to steer his massive ship towards new uncharted waters. The code he wrote in a dorm room changed the world. The code he's writing now for the metaverse aims to redefine reality itself. The story is far from over.